Hello and welcome back to the Patchwork Crafter. My name is Lorraine, and if you are new here, welcome to the channel. If you're not new here, welcome back to the channel. So before we get started, y'all, I have to share this with you. Look, how awesome is that? I finally got a little bit of organization going around on the holidays, and it's awesome. I have this little space now that I can craft in and not have to worry about the dogs or the cats bothering me or the kids bothering me. It's just my own little quiet space, and I'm really excited about it. So I'm going to expand because this is nowhere near big enough to hold all my craft supplies. But it's a start, so I'm happy about it. So enough about that. Let's get on to the craft. So today's craft, another thing that I'm really excited about. I've never seen this done for Valentine's Day before. I have seen it done for winter, and I've seen it done for Halloween, but I've never seen it done for Valentine's Day. So list of supplies, this is what you're going to need. You're going to need some arrows. Now, I know what you're saying. I just don't have arrows laying around, and I just happen to have arrows laying around because I'm a bit of a hoarder. And I did buy some arrows from the Dollar General right after Halloween when they were on sale. They were like 75% off, so I got them for 25 cents, and it was awesome. But I only got 2 of them, and I needed 3. So I did make another one out of cardboard, and I will be adding that to my website and posting that link down in my description box. So if you don't have any arrows just laying around, you can make them out of cardboard because I'm going to show you how to do it. So what else are you going to need? You're also going to need a marker, preferably red, because this is a Valentine's Day craft, so you want a little bit of pop of red. You're going to need some paint. You're also going to need, y'all, my supplies are all jumbled in my head. You're going to need a napkin, not the outside. You're going to need the inside because we are going to be decoupaging some words onto our craft, and we're going to be using our printer and a napkin to do that. You're going to need the normal stuff, you know, your craft tools. You're going to need your glue gun, your scissors, stuff that you use every time you craft. You're probably going to need those. You're also going to need a stick or a piece of wood. I used a piece of wood that was about 2 foot long, and it was probably 1 inch by 1 inch. That's what I used, but if you can go outside and find a 2 foot long stick that's kind of straight or not straight, I mean, that might add a little bit more character, then you'll have to have that. The other thing that you're going to need is some greenery. You don't really have to have some greenery, but I think the greenery just adds a little bit of something extra to it. And you're also going to need some ribbons of your choice and some embellishments. So I think that about covers everything that we need. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started on this project. All right, so the first thing that I am doing here, and these are the arrows that I got from the Dollar General. And I think they're made out of some kind of MDF board or paste board or something like that. They're not real wood. But I do only have 2 of them, and I'm going to need 3 of them. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to be taking this strand of beads off the top of them. I'm just going to use my wire cutters and pull out the staples. And I will be saving those beads because, I mean, you can never really have enough beads, can you? And I just got a piece of cardboard that I had laying around, and I'm tracing this arrow on the cardboard. And like I said, I'm going to be adding this pattern to my website, and you can download that and print it out for yourself so that you can cut out your own arrows out of cardboard if you want to. I did start out cutting them with this utility knife, and then I got smart and I used the craft knives that I got from the Dollar Tree, and that works a whole lot better. I don't know why I didn't use these on the hearts that I made for my last project, but I guess you live and you learn. So here I am just laying out my project before I make it because I don't know, I have to do this 100 times. And then I did paint the arrows with, I started out with some antique white acrylic paint, and the coverage on that was just terrible, so I did end up going with some ivory chalk paint, and then I painted over top of that with the acrylic paint. For the cardboard heart, I used this Dry Dex spackling that you can get from Lowe's or Walmart, and I'm just going to be going around the edges of the cardboard so that it covers up those ridges, and you can't really tell it's a cardboard arrow after you get all that covered up. I started out using my fingers and they got just disgusting, and then I decided that I had this really cool Cricut tool that I don't use for anything, and this is now my spackling tool. So I mean, again, live and learn. So here are our finished arrows all painted, and then we are going to take that one that we made out of cardboard, because the spackling on the outside is now dry, and I'm using some 220 grit sandpaper just to smooth out the edges so that it's not rough and it looks a little bit better. I did paint both sides of each arrow because I don't know, I just wanted a more finished look. You don't have to paint both sides, but I did end up painting both sides of each arrow before I finished this project. Alright, so now we are ready to put our words on our arrows, and to make these words I just tape the inside of the napkin. So if you have a 2-ply napkin, you take out the inside ply, tape it to a piece of just printer paper, and you have something that you could decoupage. It's pretty awesome. This font I think is called Elizabeth. I really like that because my daughter's name is Elizabeth, and it says Lover's Lane, Sweetheart Street, and Cupid Circle. So what I'm doing here is I'm just cutting out my words, and I will be ripping around the edges, because when you rip around the edges and you decoupage it, it kind of blends in a little bit better and you can't really tell that the napkin's there. So that's just what I'm doing here. When you are Mod Podging a napkin onto a project, you don't want to put Mod Podge on top of your napkin, because napkins are flimsy, so that's going to make it rip. So you just want to add a layer of Mod Podge down to your project, and then smooth the napkin over top of it. So I did play around with a bunch of stuff here, and then I decided that, you know, the gold hearts wasn't for me. I did have a red heart, that wasn't for me. So I just decided to go ahead and take a red Sharpie, and I made some dashes and dots around the part where the feathers would be on the arrow, and also at the tip where the point is. And that looks kind of pretty, but in my opinion that was still just a little bit too bland. So I took my marker again and I made some hearts back here where I know what they're called, y'all, because, you know, my husband used to hunt all the time, so he had arrows. But I can't quite think of what that part of the arrow is called. Anyways, I put some hearts back there just to, you know, give it a little bit of something extra. And now back to my obsession of laying out my craft before I put it together. So here we go again. I'm just laying everything out. And here's my 2-foot stick that I got from outside. So it is already weathered, but I wanted it to have more of a weathered effect. So I'm taking some of that ivory chalk paint, and I'm just dry brushing it all over the stick. Now one more time before we put it all together, I need to lay this out and see how it's going to look. And then I'm going to get my glue gun once I get everything where I want it. And I'm going to just be adding a good bit of glue to the stick and then setting the arrows on top of it. And that should hold. I mean, I'm not putting it outside or anything, so this should be good. And I think that looks pretty good, but I think it still needs something extra. So I have this eucalyptus that I picked up from Walmart. It was during the holidays, so it does have a little bit of glitter on it, and it's really pretty. And I decided to glue just 3 sprigs of that to each one of the bottom 2 arrows. And then I go in with a little bit of floral moss, and I go around all the arrows with that to kind of make it, I don't know, it's got like a whimsical fantasy look to it, and just to me it does. And I think that looks pretty good, but I think it needs something else. So we're going to be putting a bow on it. And I have this piece of top ribbon that was already cut. It's 7.5 inches. I'm going to be cutting another one of that. So 2 of those, 2 pieces of white ribbon. And then I also have this, it's like a red mesh ribbon that I got from the Dollar General. And I cut 4 pieces of that to start with. And then I decided I needed an extra piece. So I add an extra piece of red on top of it to finish it all off. And I think it looks really good that way. So with a messy bow, you just kind of lay everything out in X's and then scrunch it all up, tie it all together. And like I said, I needed that extra piece of red in there to give it a little bit more pop. So that's what I'm doing here. And then I had a heart that I got from the Hobby Lobby in the wedding section. And it had a white lace finish on top of it. I dry brushed a little bit of red onto it so that the raised lace would have a red tint. And I put that all together, and then I just have to attach it to my street sign. And y'all, I love this. It looks amazing. Now, did I mention that after I got everything together, I decided that those ends needed to be dovetailed on that top ribbon and that white ribbon? Definitely want to do that beforehand, because it's a pain. But now I'm going to attach it to my street sign at the bottom, because that's where I have the most room. And I think it looks really cute this way. Now, I don't know why I try to do everything the hard way, y'all, but some reason in my mind I thought that I could tie a knot in this bow with it upside down and me not looking at it, and that didn't work at all. So I did end up flipping it over. You know, my brain started working somewhere in there, and I ended up tying it on this way. And I do end up having to add some hot glue to it because I don't want this moving. I want it to stay there. So I just add some hot glue to the back of my what is that called? That's jute cord that came with the original arrows. So just hot glue there, and it is good to go. Alright, what do y'all think? I absolutely love this. I think it's the cutest little thing. And like I said, I've never seen it done for Valentine's Day before, so I love it.